Hey YouTube, welcome back to PIRAS Motorsport. So today we're going to talk about engine power, and we're going to talk about it not as increasing the maximum power, but how to keep your engine running at the maximum power for all time. So let's get into it. Toyota Gazoo Racing, as you know, has been racing for years here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and this is one of the hardest tracks there are for stressing a car, especially in race conditions. So what we have been doing here is been looking very closely at the modifications and cooling modifications that they have brought to their two racing cars, currently Gen 2 cars, but the engine is the same and the package is the same. And we have found something very interesting. It appears from Toyota that the absolute pressure sensor from the manifold, the one above the intake manifold, is giving some wrong readings while overheating. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Just up here we have this sensor that is just on top of the throttle body in the intake manifold, and this sensor actually is very susceptible to heat. So when this reading is in any way near or above 55 degrees Celsius, the engine cuts power completely. But there is a digressive curve of power reduction while the temperature rises, and heat soak is a part of it, even with the open hood vents and open hoods that they use in the 24-hour cars. They still have this problem, and I'll show you how they're fixing it. Therefore, PIRAS Motorsport, of course, had to make a good development, and we've been working in the last weeks, and we came to a product that will work. There is currently nothing on the market that fixes this problem. We will be the first. There has been a prototype in Japan, but this does not take into account issues like water, because yes, all the electrical connectors in the engine are watertight, and there is not going to be a problem if some water spills on it. But on the other hand, if we are taking the air directly from this tract and therefore to the sensor on the other side, what happens is that if you get to a heavy rainstorm or something like that, you will be spraying air and water at the speed you're going with the car directly into the engine. So we thought of a few different methods of separating air from water. For example, you know, even on the OEM snorkel, they do this, but this has got such a huge pressure loss in air, because it has basically an open design, and the curves are so pronounced in an open design that you all know that on the Gen 2 they had to revert the design to the GRMN version because it just wasn't cutting it at 280 horsepower, imagine tuned. And by the way, we are running the stock intake now just because of TÜV homologation here in Germany, and it's complicated. But anyways, let's get back to it. What we did after various tests is to create an engineering flow chart within the CFD of the duct that we just created. And basically, we're going to use gravity and speed to make the water separate and attach to the lower wall of the duct, and then go straight out through an opening. And yes, this will bring a little bit of loss in the charge air that comes through here, but on the other side is going to be a very small loss, and still it's going to be air that is cooling the engine just as it is in OEM. So basically I'm going to show you the duct now. Now it's in production, and I'm going to receive it here in about a week's time. Just do the last checks on the car and some testing on the car, and then In less than a month, it will be available to purchase and in stock. So this is going to be a quick development because we will do like the hood vents and some parts of the airboxes. This will be 3D printed, no problem. And by the way, this issue is present on all G16E GTS engines, so keep in mind. With the cooling plates on the Corolla and the LBX Morizo, we bring the air already closer, so this should work again. And basically, you need to cool this area. And this also shows you why so many of our customers that have gone with aftermarket intake manifolds that on one side are a great solution, on the other they were suffering incredible heat soak. And this is why. So either if you're on a stock engine or if you are on an aftermarket manifold, please look into this and consider pre-purchasing our duct, because this will fix the issue. No question about it. Very simple parts. As you see, it only bolts in with one bolt and you're good to go. Very simple, very simple. So this was just a quick preview, and as you got used to it already, knowing all the details of this engine from our side, and we will go on developing and doing things. We are starting to look into also the GR86 platform, so a lot to be seen and a lot to come. Cheers.